Good day to you all. If you will please put your palms together for a meditation reading. The most wonderful thing is that Buddha's invisible heart of compassion is visible. While I'm right here, the Pure Land, millions of worlds away, is visible. While I'm here, Namo Amida Butsu. Poem by Myokonin Saiichi Asahara, 1852 to 1332. If you would please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 There are subjects or tasks that seem incomprehensible to us. They can be baffling, unimaginable, mystifying, or puzzling. These subjects are just downright impossible to understand and maybe beyond our scope of knowledge or interest. Yet for us, we only think we are incompetent. We merely lack the necessary skills to do the task. We feel as though we are unable to do a task, and that is because we may lack the qualifications for that particular purpose. We do not know if we are incompetent or if there is something that is incomprehensible if we do not try. When I went to graduate school, the study seemed incomprehensible, and I had a dictionary open at all times. I felt incompetent and was ready to give up. Yet, with my continuous trying and trusted dictionary, I was finally able to start understanding the teachings and language. These two words, incomprehensible and incompetent, may sound negative, but it only means we are unable or cannot grasp an idea or concept of a certain subject. It takes patience, trying, thinking, and listening on our side for understanding of this incomprehension. Even though there may be teachings of the Buddha that are difficult to comprehend, they are not incomprehensible. With our continuous listening, hearing, desire to learn, and yes, questioning, we can eventually grasp its meanings. It is then we can grasp the true meaning of the teachings. It is not only our ears that hear, but also our hearts and mind. Words can hinder our ability to comprehend and make us feel incompetent, yet they can make us think. Incomprehensible and incompetent is being a human being. In Jodo Shinshu, there have been stories researched and recorded about specific people who believed they too were incompetent and the teachings were incomprehensible. Because of these two words, they still could be embraced by the compassion and wisdom of the Buddha. They are known as Myokonin. This word means a wondrous, excellent person. They were generally unworldly people who lacked formal education, yet they were very devoted followers of the Buddha's teachings. Like all people, they strive to eke out a living, but with one exception. They were dedicated to the Buddha and the teachings. Their recognition of entrusting came from the heart. There were several people considered myokonin. However, I focus on Saiichi Asahara for his poetry. They were written in simple words that expressed his true understanding and entrusting. Saiichi was born in 1850 to 1932 in present-day Shimane Prefecture. Research has his father as a very poor priest. Saiichi did not start listening to the Dharma until he was in his 20s. The most recent research indicates that in his younger years, he worked as a ship's carpenter and builder. After he married, he worked in a coal town, making small coal boats. He felt a somewhat loneliness and began to visit Buddhist priests and listened to the Dharma. At the age of 55, he returned home and began making wooden clogs, getas. There he met a good teacher and finally attained true entrusting at the age of 60 years old. While making the wooden clogs, Saiichi would recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, and he felt his work became the Buddha's doing. While he worked, he wrote his poems in the wood shavings of the clogs. Carefully, he would take the shavings home, place them in front of his home altar, and would copy them into notebooks using the simplest written language of kana. It is said he wrote at least 2 poems a day in the wood shavings, and each day he would take them home and copy them in his notebooks. Saiichi wrote upward of 10,000 poems. He sought the spiritual path, which he felt was the essence of Buddha's love and happiness. He worked in a 2 tatami room, which is very small, untiringly, and lived in dire poverty. It was not out of duty to his occupation or for money or to repay the Buddha's kindness to him. He could not imagine how one pays back the gratitude to the Buddha. He had no choice but to work, yet it was filled with joy and happiness. For Saiichi felt as though he dwelled in the Buddha's world of love and happiness. His comprehension of the Buddha Dharma went beyond his self. He only knew what was in his heart. There was no calculation on his part. His poems came from his deep entrusting, and his poems expressed the truth of his entrusting. Although Saiichi lacked a formal education, he was able to comprehend what the Buddha shared with him. We of the present time, when asked about Jodo Shinshu, feel incompetent. We cannot find the words to express ourselves to what Jodo Shinshu is. We act as if the question is incomprehensible, or we just feel incompetent to answer such a question. Even though we come to service, and when asked, what is Jodo Shinshu? We tend to run the other way. We are not incompetent, nor are the teachings incomprehensible. We are capable human beings with the mind, education, and ability to talk that we can find the answer to that question. Yes, at times, the teachings may seem incomprehensible, and understanding them is difficult. Yet, how we explain Jodo Shinshu comes from our hearts. We can answer using our own experiences, and these experiences are expressed from the heart to explain what Jodo Shinshu means. We open our hearts to truly hear the teachings and try to live by the guidance and direction of the Buddha's words. It is our expression of Namo Amida Butsu, Nembutsu, that settles the mind and helps us to find the words of what is inside our hearts. We are not incompetent, for we have traveled many journeys in our lifetime and taken many paths. And we use these journeys to express what is in our hearts and what Jodo Shinshu is for us. The teachings are not incomprehensible, and if they are, we continue to study, listen, and hear. We open our hearts to truly hear the teachings and to try to live by the Buddha's words. We are capable beings who have experiences that can help to express what Jodo Shinshu is. We only have to voice what is in our hearts. We only think we do not know. My questions are, what is in your heart? And can you express what is there? If you would please put your palms together in final gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda.